Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today I'm doing a walkthrough for Warzone 1, which is a free cybersecurity lab on TryHackMe.com. So if you have your computer in front of you, go to TryHackMe.com and follow along with me as we do this together. Warzone 1, you received an IDS/IPS alert. Time to triage the alert to determine if it's a true positive. Okay, so the first thing you want to do here is start your machine. That will take about a minute or two to come up, and it will give you a split screen view. So this is a virtual machine that is booted up for free for us to work on. It gives us the IP address of this machine and a timer, but don't worry, if you run out of time, you can always click add 1 hour. You work as a Tier 1 security analyst, level 1, for a managed security service provider. Today you're tasked with monitoring network alerts. A few minutes into your shift, you get your first network case, potentially bad traffic, and malware command and control activity detected. Your race against the clock starts. Inspect the PCAP and retrieve the artifacts to confirm this alert is a true positive. What's a PCAP, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. If we click on these little dotted underline words, they'll give us definitions. Wow! Packet capture is a networking practice involving the interception of data packets traveling over a network. Once the packets are captured, they can be stored by IT teams for further analysis. The inspection of these packets allows IT teams to identify issues and solve network problems affecting daily operations. The tools we will be using are Byeee, Network Miner, and Wireshark. If you don't know what these are, you can click on these links and it will take you to separate rooms that are set up just to teach you this exact tool. So I've actually never used Byeee or Network Miner, but I just looked them up briefly and was able to learn a little bit just from a simple Google search. They're just network inspection, traffic inspection tools, just like Wireshark. Wireshark is more well-known, I would say, than Byeee or Network Miner, and it's the one that I'm familiar with, so it's the one that I'll default towards using. I'm not sure if we have to use all three of these, but we'll see. Let's move on. Deploy the machine attached to this task. It will be visible in the split screen view once it is ready. All right, question 1. What was the alert signature for malware command and control activity detected? You can see here we have our Zone 1 PCAP file, which is the file we are supposed to be inspecting. Okay, so I clicked on the hint here and it says to use Byeee. So opening up Network Miner was not the right first step. Let's go to Byeee. Let's open that up. Okay, once we open Byeee, we can drag zone1.pcap into this program and it will start giving us some data on that.
Whoa.
Now we're looking for specific alert signature of malware command and control activity detected. Okay, so if you double click on the zone1.pcap in the left column, you'll start to see the information displayed here, and this is basically network traffic analysis. So if it's a little overwhelming, just take a deep breath. These are IP addresses, we got port numbers, we got protocols, and different things here. So we're looking for suspicious activity. Okay, so in Byeee, if we go to the left-hand column down here and click on Suricata Alerts by Category, we'll see that there's a malware command and control activity detected. Count is 28. So if we right-click on that and filter equals value, or let's say new search with this value, then it gives us all of the traffic that is related to malware command and control detected. So the alert signature, if we scroll to the right, we'll see a column here that shows us the alert signature, and we can copy this, I think, maybe. Yep, and there we go. That's the alert signature right there. We can copy that from there and paste that in here, and that should be the first answer. Second part. What is the source IP address? Enter your answer in a defanged format. Okay, so we go back over here, close this out, and we're just looking for a source IP address. So if you look at the top columns here, we get source IP 172.16.1.102. Okay, so defanged format just means you put your periods in square brackets. What IP address was the destination IP in the alert? Enter your answer in a defanged format. So destination IP right here, 169.239.128.11. All right, inspect the IP address in VirusTotal. Under Relations, Passive DNS Replication, which domain has the most detections? Enter your answer in a defanged format. So if we go over to virustotal.com, we have three options here. We can search by IP address. That's what we want to do. So we're going to take the IP address for the source and we're going to search that here. Okay, we put in the source address, but it wants us to put in the destination address because that is the address that the if this computer that's infected is calling out to another IP address somewhere else, that's the command and control center. The IP address that they're calling out to is the command and control center. So that's actually what we need to look up in VirusTotal, which explains why the source address was clean. So we look up the, okay, so yep, so we look up the source, the destination address, and we're already seeing some alerts here. If we go to relations and we look under passive DNS replication, we have 14 detections here for fidufagios.com. That domain, we need the IP address for that domain. Oh, I see. So we got to do like this. There we go, fidufagios.com. Still in VirusTotal, under community, what threat group is attributed to this IP address? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. TA505. Threat actor. That sounds right. So threat actor 505. I forgot that's how we in the security community name things. Next question. What is the malware family? I'm assuming it's going to tell us that in VirusTotal because it didn't point us to any other source. So let's just explore this. This is pretty cool. This is actually really cool. Basically, if you have an IP address that one of your machines is calling out to, you could very easily look it up in VirusTotal and it would tell you if it's a known source of malware or not. So unless your threat actor is using a brand new command and control center, or they're effectively spoofing their IP address, you would know exactly who they are and where they're coming from. So in other words, you'll be able to catch the lazy people in VirusTotal. Okay, so you have to make sure you, if you click on fidufagios.com, not www.fidufagios.com, but the one that actually shows all the detections, then it takes you to this page where you can view details. And you'll see that this is categorized by these different organizations: known infection source, phishing, command and control, bot networks, malicious, phishing. Mirror Blast. Okay, the malware family is Mirror Blast. So I didn't even know that was malware family, but that is why we do what we do, because we want to learn something new. Do a search in VirusTotal for the domain from question 4. Question 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, fidufagios.com. What was the majority file type listed under communicating files? Okay, so we searched, just show you what I did. So we search fidufagios.com. I don't know why I'm doing this defang, but it feels right. It feels like I'm a real security researcher now. So we go to relations and we go to communicating files. And we can see here that there are a whole bunch of Windows installers, .msi, and some Excel spreadsheets, .bin. Okay, so the majority file type would be Windows installers. Inspect the web traffic for the flagged IP address. What is the user agent in the traffic? Okay, so if you right click on the IP address, you can do a new search with this value, and that will bring up any traffic that is related to that IP address. Now, if you pay attention here and you scroll down, you will see it says ET user agent, suspicious user agent, rebol, and it says, but that's the alert.signature string. So we want to find that's just telling us, I think, that the user agent is suspicious, but we want to actually find what is the user agent's exactly. So if you keep scrolling down on one like this, so these are the HTTP traffic packets. If you scroll down here, you will see eventually user agent string. I'm sure there's a way to filter for this in the search bar. I'm not familiar with Brim, but with a little bit of diligence, I found here it says rebol view 2.7.8.3.1. So I'm assuming that's the user agent. Rebol view 2.7.8.3.1. All right, and there we go. Retrace the attack. There were multiple IP addresses associated with this attack. What were two other IP addresses? Enter the IP address defanged and in numerical order. Format IP address, comma, IP address. All right, so I'm looking at the hint here and it says Brim HTTP logs and VirusTotal community tab can help you here. So Wireshark was not necessarily the right move. Let's go back to Brim HTTP logs. Here we go. Okay. So we made requests to Fidu Fagios, and it looks like the only other IP addresses listed here, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there are 4 other IP addresses that we requested here. So let's copy those. Let's check out in VirusTotal if these trigger any alerts. Okay, so it looks like there is a malicious hit on that first IP address. It is also a mirror blast of TA505. So I'm going to go ahead and post that in here. I know they said CyberChef can defang for us, but this only takes 2 seconds, and I don't really know how to use CyberChef. So I'm going to stick with what I know for right now. And then let's take the second one that we see. This could be legitimate, but I'm going to just check them in order that they appear. And let's search this in VirusTotal and see. We do also have something malicious here. It's another copy. Mirror blast. Because that is the same. Right. Okay. Don't forget to use this little clipboard mechanism. It's a little annoying, but it's for security. It prevents you from having a shared clipboard with the virtual machine online, which would be possibly unsafe. So we also got some malicious stuff going on here. It looks like it is also a mirror blast of TA505. Answer is incorrect. Okay, so there were multiple IT IP addresses associated with this task. So if those two that are malicious were not the answers, although they are malicious IP addresses, let's cut out the rest of this filter and just look for HTTP stuff, because I have a feeling that we're narrowing it a little too much. Okay, and what do you know? This one is also malicious. This is, let me guess, a mirror blast of TA505. All right, so since these two are similar, I'm going to try putting in these two and see what we get there. All right, so we might as well look up the 4th address in VirusTotal and see if that's also considered as malware. It looks like it is flagged by one community. And it is something different. It's Google Chrome malicious, unwarranted, browser-based spying. Okay, cool. So that look like that's a different tactic that's being used by the attacker from that IP address. So I have them all pasted into a notepad over here, and I'm going to see which combination that... I did say to put them in numerical order, right? So let's try these two. It's not correct. Okay. Let's try this one instead. Doesn't like that either. Okay, let's try this. Nope. Okay, so we got it. It was actually these first two. So these first two IP addresses that you see, there's actually 2 other ones here as well that are associated with malicious websites, according to VirusTotal. My mistake was not posting them in numerical order, which it clearly instructs me to do, so that's my fault. Don't make the same mistake I did. All right, so the answer for that one is 185 and 192 addresses. Next question. 3rd to last, we're almost done. What were the file names of the downloaded files? Enter the answer in the order to the IP addresses from the previous question. All right, so I'm highlighting our first IP address, and I'm scrolling down, and I see there's a URI here /10.0pd3r underscore load.msi. So I'm thinking that is probably the name of the application. Possibly. Let's see if it likes that. I mean, URI is universal resource something or other. And then this one, I don't know. This one looks a little more confusing. Inspect the traffic for the first downloaded file from the previous question. 2 files will be saved to the same directory. What is the full file path of the directory and the name of the 2 files? Format c:\path/file.xyz. This is one of the cool things about learning a new tool by using it for something, is that I'm learning both cybersecurity and the tool at the same time, and you do end up banging your head against the wall more, but what you get for banging your head against the wall is you will remember that challenge and that problem and that solution so much better than if you had just been in a classroom and someone told you about it. All right, so we search filter.msi, and what do we find? All right, so I open up this in Wireshark, and the hint says inspect the streams. So I'm going to follow the TCP stream from 185 to our guy. It says user agent Windows installer, blah, blah, blah. Here is something interesting at the end of this. C program data local Google Rebol view 278.31.exe. So I took a little detour and did some research, and I was close with this guy, but that's actually, I got the first and second files confused because of the whole order of entered things. And I was on the right track here with following the TCP stream in Wireshark. So this is the first location for the second file, and this is the second location for the second file. So we'll answer the last question first, and now we just got to find these guys. So that was the answer for the 192 address. Now let's find the 185 address. Okay, so the way I've been doing this is I like Brim. I'm actually more familiar with Wireshark, but so far I'm loving Brim because it shows you traffic flows, not so much every individual packet. It's a little less overwhelming. So now we want to find the 185.1068.235 address, which is here. And I want to use Brim to open up the traffic, that conversation basically in Wireshark. So when I go in Brim and I highlight this conversation between these 2 addresses and click Wireshark packets, it'll automatically open just this conversation between 172, which is our command and control malware center, and 185, which is one of the IP addresses used in this attack. So now what I want to do is just right click on pretty much any of these. I think will work. Hit follow TCP stream, and we should see a download location here. Okay, that took me a long time to figure out. I will spare you the details and just let you know that the way to find the answer for these last 2 questions from Brim, anywhere on the correct traffic, which would be between these IP addresses, you click on packets, it'll open it up for you in Wireshark. You right click there, you hit follow TCP stream, and you scroll all the way down, and you get the file path C program data Arab bin, and then there's another file also called arab.exe, and it has the same path, just it's an executable instead of a bin file. I'm not sure how you're supposed to know that this is the same path. I don't know if there's something I'm missing, but suffice to say, we got the right answer. And That's it. That is Warzone 1. So, a fun room, a little challenging for me, given that I'm not familiar with Brim, but really a great way to learn networking tools by digging around and trying to figure stuff out and answer questions about some blue team activities. So, hope you enjoyed this room, and I hope you'll join me in the next TryHackMe walkthrough. Bye!